We're back in the closet.
Yep.
And we're coming off a weekend of fun-filled events.
We went to Indianapolis for an adult weekend. No kids, just us.
Indianapolis, Indiana.
We had
home of the Pacers, home of the Colts, home of the Indianapolis 500, home of the one-way streets, home of...
Every state has one-way streets.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of them.
Okay, well, we had never been there before. And because we decided this year to take our trips to places we've never been, we've already shared that. So this was trip number 1 to Indianapolis, and it was on a scale of 1 to 10 of all the cities that we've been able to visit. I think it's a solid 8.
Oh, yeah, it's up there at the top, for sure.
We've been to some really good cities.
It would have been a lot funner if it would have been spring and we could walk. It seemed like a walking city.
Well, and here's
lots to do, good food.
Here's the thing, though. The weather was kind of crappy. It was kind of warm at the front end of the trip, but rain.
Like heavy rain.
Yeah, and then the latter end of the trip was less rain, but it was freezing. Well, I mean, it was really cold. So the weather sucked, so we didn't get to get out and, like, walk, like he just said, and experience everything we wanted to experience. Like, I would have loved to have gone to the zoo, maybe, picked up I don't know, just step outside. I would have been able to...
I would like to go into a Pacers game.
I would have liked to have been able to bar hop a little more, but we kind of just, like, picked one for the night and stayed because we didn't want to walk around and keep getting in and out of Ubers. But we stayed in a hotel that was really close to everything. Hotel was perfect. I don't know. Where do we start? We get there on Friday, and Jeff likes comedy. Jeff likes stand-up comedy. So we figured out dinner, and we went to see this comedy show. And it's probably, I would say, maybe the second comedy show that I've ever been to. And I don't even know if the first one counts because it was at, like, the whatever in Charleston, like, at the hotel. Like, I'm not sure that even counts. I mean, I guess it does. It was comedy, and I laughed. So
yeah, but there was
counts.
I think it's really the first one at a comedy club. We've never been to a real comedy club.
No, we've never been to a real comedy club.
Ever.
And this was.
This was a real comedy club, Crackers Comedy Club. And they have real people, like, they have the pictures on the walls where famous comedians have come and done their sets. So this was a real comedy club with an opener, and you had that down in South Charleston, but I don't know if they really had that kind of level talent coming in.
I mean,
this lady out of Chicago.
The guy that we saw in Charleston was pretty funny, I remember, but I mean, this was just way better than that. But it was, where you sit down, you have drinks, and you eat, and they have a what's the first guy called? What would they call him?
A host.
A host, yeah. God,
there you go.
So tired. He was not that great. And here's the thing. With the host of a comedy show, you would think they'd be pretty funny because they set the precedence. They kind of set the mood for the whole thing. So you kind of, I don't know, maybe a strategy. Maybe they get somebody that's not so funny just so it ups everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, makes them seem a lot more funny. I don't know, but he wasn't that funny to me. He was kind of annoying. But he
seemed like a guy who might, I don't know. I don't want to judge. He was not good.
No.
He didn't it was like, oh, I hope this isn't the tone for the night.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, set the tone for the night. But I guess you don't want to set the bar too high if they're too funny because then everybody else who's supposed to be headlining is not going to be as funny. But
the problem for me was it seemed like he was trying really hard,
it
right?
Was, funny. I could have got up there, I think, and been a little more funny than that. And maybe not. I'm sure it's hard when you get up there. And then the second guy, whose name was Josh Springer.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
He was good. I enjoyed him.
He was good.
I laughed pretty hard.
I had some fun. That was fun. He interacted with the audience well.
He was a young guy. Him and Jeff had some talks about West Virginia. Because, see, Jeff and I got put... And here's the thing. We went in, they sat you down. You didn't have assigned seats. They just, like, sat you like you would at a restaurant. They're sitting everybody. And then there's a table off to the side, right? Kind of like where they'd put the bad kids. Because everybody else was together. And Jeff and I were literally off to the side by ourselves. I was a little concerned about that. I was like, is this going to be the pick on you table? Or why are we over here on the side by ourselves? Did you feel like that?
It seemed like once it got started, they had trouble seeing us. It's almost like they forgot about us.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Because we're like the bad kids or something.
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, anyway, he was funny. Look him up. Josh Springer. He was good. Followed me on Instagram back. I followed him on Instagram. He followed me back. That was pretty nice.
Of course he did.
It was nice. But then the lady, the girl, the headline, Alex, Kumin. I don't know how to pronounce that last name.
Cumin.
I don't know.
Cumin.
Here's
whatever.
the funny story. Here's what happened, and this is like no joke. I cannot believe this happened. So Jeff and I, on our car ride down to, down, up, wherever, to Indiana, I suppose, we were listening to Rock 105 for whatever reason, for like a half second.
I'll tell you the reason.
Why?
It was because I was trying to find something on my phone to listen to, and it cut off like I was trying to switch from like Bluetooth to auxiliary cord or the whatever it is, the sync
Oh, yeah.
for the car. And while I was doing that, it kicked off, and somehow it got on 105.
I got you.
And you can continue. From
Okay,
there.
so they were talking to this lady comic, and she had a deep voice, and I think she said her name was Alex.
She did.
And she had a deep voice, and she was like, "Yeah, it's really crazy when you have a kind of a boy name and I'm not saying this word for word, in a deep voice. People often make comments about it or whatever." And like she did this whole bit on having a deep voice, and when she runs into somebody else with a deep voice, it feels like they're in the club, like a whatever. It was this whole bit. Okay, fine, whatever. We didn't think anything of it. We kind of giggled and moved on. So this lady gets up and she starts talking, and I kind of think I've heard her voice before, and I never said anything to Jeff. Then she started doing
She goes right into the bit.
Same bit, and Jeff and I looked at each other like, "Oh my gosh, we literally just heard her on the radio this morning," which is so rare because we never listen to Rock 105 ever.
No, rarely.
And the coincidence from hearing her on the radio and then randomly picking a comedy club in Indianapolis that day and her being there, so weird. And I didn't get a chance to tell her afterwards, and I wanted to, and I walked right by her.
And she spoke to us on the way out. She was like, "That she's." But I didn't speak because I know that we were like the warm up crowd because she got the 7 and the 9. We went early so we could go do some other things later.
Yeah.
And I know, it was already 8 something, so they're getting ready to go right back on stage.
Right. She was it was like 8:40 or something. She was good. She interacted with the audience very well. She interacted with Jeff and I because she was asking her, is there any couples in the audience? And of course, everybody's raising their hands. And then she went around asking how long everybody had been together. And I'm proud to say Jeff and I were the longest married, but not necessarily the oldest in the room.
No, we weren't the oldest.
I don't know. That other couple was
That
close.
other couple was a little older.
I felt like that too. But we were the longest married in the room. I am very proud to say.
The longest together. I think the only one together close to us was 20 years. And they weren't even married 20 years.
She asked what our secret was. And I said, communication, forgiveness.
And then I shouted out, "and great sex."
Oh, and we did it again. We made it one less part.
No, I'm just...
Nope. You said it. You brought it up. Nope. It counts.
Oh,
Counts.
I was just repeating what happened.
But
That doesn't count against me.
It does count against you. Because you
How?
could have left that part of the story out.
Why would I do that? That's
Because
part of the story.
Our bet is you can't go through January without referring to sex once in a podcast. And you already done it. So anyway, she was good. We had a great time at the comedy show. Then we went to this bar called
Burnside Inn.
Burnside Inn. It's not, in fact, a hotel, but it's decorated as such. Like an old-time hotel.
Like Civil War time.
Yeah, I don't know my history, but
Yeah, it was like
a
general or something in the Civil War. The guy with the thick, bushy
mustache, sideburns.
Sideburn going into the mustache.
Right, but no beard. Right.
So it's like yeah.
And they're known, I
really,
think, for
really
like
cool.
the Moscow. How do you say that?
The mules. They had bourbon mules. They had Moscow mules. They had all kinds of mules.
What they didn't have was a friendly bartender.
No, they did not.
And what we've experienced on our one single trip to Indianapolis is that the bartenders, most of the places that we went, were less than friendly.
They were not very friendly folks. It was kind of weird because you almost feel awkward, and you should never feel awkward when you're getting a beverage from a bartender.
And here's the thing: when we went to this inn, what was it called again?
Burnside.
Golly, what's wrong with me? We went kind of early. I guess it was on the earlier side, and Jeff and I were practically the only ones at the bar. So I don't know if the bartender felt awkward, like maybe they're trying to have a romantic time. But I think you even asked him a question, and he was like really hesitant to answer.
I did.
You asked him what was upstairs, because there was a sign that said visit our second and third floor, but I thought it was a fake sign.
And he kind of mumbled. You know what I mean?
Right.
And why would somebody put a fake sign telling you to go upstairs?
Because the whole thing about the place was fake. It wasn't really a hotel, so it was in. I don't know, Jeff. I don't have the answer because I'm stupid. Is that what you want me to say?
No.
Okay.
No, that's not what I was wanting you to say.
So we decided, because he said there's a second and third floor, and we're like, well, we want to go see that, but it didn't open
no.
until 7. No, we went to that bar before. I'm so confused.
What's going on here?
We went to that bar before the show, because he said it opened at 7.
Yeah.
And we were going to go back after
Right.
the comedy show, but we decided to
Right.
go get drinks of our own and just go back to our room because we were really tired. That's how lame we are. So we ended up going back to but
We're
did.
so old.
Yeah, but that was the first night, and we went after the show. We went to get beverages of our own from a liquor store, and then here's what else happened. We walk into this liquor store. As we walk in Indianapolis, Indiana, as soon as we walk in, they're playing
Country Roads Take Me Home.
Right, so of course we had to snap that. Again, no personality. I say to the guy who works there, I'm like, oh, you all played that just for us, didn't you? We're from West Virginia. And he looked at me like I was an idiot. I don't get embarrassed. I don't want to say the word embarrassed. I was like, okay, bro. I mean, like, no comment back, nothing.
Yeah, and then there's a guy in the back when it was playing, and he was sitting on the counter. I guess they were slow at the time. He had all the liquors, like all the bourbons back there behind the bar. And I was like, hey, man, looks like you got all the goods back here. And he just kind of looked up at me like I was an alien.
It was like we were
Like,
bothering
you want
them.
something?
And then they were playing Country Roads on repeat, which it kind of freaked me out because the song was over and then it started again. And I'm like, I think we're getting ready
It's a
to
different version.
I think we're getting ready to be murdered. I think this is our story. I think this is how we're going to go because we are actually from West Virginia. They see us walk in, they start playing it on repeat, and it's our torture. And they're going to get us. So they were not friendly. Anyway, we bought our stuff, we left. We went back to the room and did TikToks. That's so sad.
Yeah, we drank, we did TikToks,
Well, we had fun.
we laughed,
I was so tired that night.
we knocked on people's doors and ran.
We did not, in fact, do that.
Twice.
You may have when you went to get ice, but I was in no
you
part
were
of that.
giggling. You thought it was funny.
He's making this up right now. That did not happen. Anyway, so we wake up, we eat our free breakfast on Saturday. Of course, we go hit the gym
Of course we did.
in the pouring
We got a
rain.
great workout too.
Started cardio.
Fantastic.
Started cardio because after all I've eaten this weekend, oh dear Lord. But anyway, and then after our workouts, we found an
It's a
amazing coffee shop.
Fletcher's.
Calvin Fletcher's.
Calvin Fletcher's coffee shop.
It was so fancy. I felt so special. Although I felt like, again, we were getting some weird looks. I don't know if it's because we rode up in there in our workout gear.
I think it's because you're hot. I think that happens when you go in places and you're in yoga pants and your booties pop and they're like, whoa, what's this?
Did you not feel like we were getting weird looks?
Yeah, but it was a hipster bar.
It was a little bit, and we're not
We're
hipster.
walking in shorts. I'm walking in shorts
have
and a
shorts
freaking
on.
hoodie on. Yeah, no, you aren't. I'm talking about me. You walk in with the yoga pants on, you know.
And then I had a hot flash and I take my sweatshirt off.
You started stripping in front of everybody. So you're in a yoga pants and a tank top, drinking fancy coffee out of a mug.
It was fancy
And
coffee out of a mug.
They were really nice though. The lady was
was
super
very nice.
She was awesome.
Very, very nice.
She was awesome.
She put a little. You know how they make. You know when you use cream or steamed milk or whatever or whatever, you get a latte and they make that design out of the cream or whatever.
Like a little tree or something.
Mine was like, I don't know what the shape was supposed to be.
It
It
looked
kind
like
of
a
resembled
penis.
a penis
Yeah, it
a
did.
little bit.
Maybe she's sending you a message.
Maybe.
Like, get that penis, girl.
I got it because I got every ounce of it.
You
Every
did.
last drop
You
because
better believe it.
I
I thought she was saying for you to get my penis. And then
so
you said you got every ounce of it.
so if the first comment didn't count earlier, this one does, so I'm safe no matter what. You can't do it. You can't do it. We had this
Every
amazing,
drop of it. You heard it here first, people.
Anyway, very good coffee. Then what did we do? I don't remember what we did that. Yes, I do. This is great. We went to a winery.
Yes.
We went to Easley
That's the
Winery.
nice thing that this is. I give props to Angie because we went back the first day, Friday. We went, and this, mind you, is her getaway weekend. This is where we're taking her away for a birthday.
Because it's January.
It's January, so it's like, what do you want? What do you want to do for your birthday? And she's like, I just want to get out of here and go somewhere we haven't been. So we do that, and then I see her on the bed, and she's researching comedy clubs, and I'm like, what do you want to do, or what are you doing? And she's like, you like comedy? Let's go to a comedy club and check it out. It's like it's your weekend. Let's just do your stuff, like, because I already had this winery tour set up for Saturday, But I was like, we don't have to do comedy. She was like, no, I want to. So it was cool that she wanted to do something with me that was something that I'd love. When I go out of town, I want to go to a comedy club usually, or do something like that.
Yes.
And that was fun. And you enjoyed.
I had a great time. I would do it again.
We laughed our butts off the whole weekend.
I think every time we go to a city, I'm going to be looking for those, too.
Yeah, but going back to where you were at.
The winery.
That day after our coffee, we went back and we took a shower.
Yes.
And then we...
got a snack.
Got a snack, if that's what you want to call it. And then we went over to Easley Winery. And it was cool, except the tour guide I didn't care for.
I wasn't a fan. We did the actual tour. We could have just done the tasting, but I kind of wanted to see. I've never been on a wine tour. You know how it's made. I didn't know.
Well,
I didn't need a 30-minute tour. I mean, I just needed you to tell me like 15. Like, show me where this stuff happens. I don't need to know the basics. I mean, I don't need to know every detail. I just need to know the basics, right?
Yeah, it wasn't as good as Napa Valley when we went there.
Well, we didn't get a grand tour.
No, but we did get walked around and
we got
to see
around.
the freaking incredible
yeah
tanks and all that. Remember?
Well, yeah, but this guy, he was a little annoying. Jeff looked down at his watch once for something, and he goes in the middle of the tour. And Jeff didn't even make a scene. He just like glanced down at his watch. And I was in the
back. I think that I was insecure, but it was like literally, I was getting dinged by TikTok.
I know, but my point is your watch didn't go off. Like you didn't make. You know how like if you're in a crowd and somebody's watch goes off or their phone, and then the whoever's in charge is like, is there something going on? It was on silent. He just saw you look down, and he's like, what did he say?
Are you in a hurry?
Are you in a hurry? Am I taking too long?
Do I need to speed this up?
I was like,
no, you're good, man. Take your time. I got all day. I mean, I just am checking my TikToks on my watch. I'm TikTok famous, bro. It's going crazy.
So we're in this, we're going on this tour. And when you're on a tour or when you're in a lecture or a seminar or something, even though you're voluntarily there, you just want to listen to what the people say. And when the person goes, anybody have any questions? You're like, don't anybody raise your damn hand. Nobody has questions, right? Because you do know there's wine tasting after this tour, right? You do know that this has been 30 minutes when it was supposed to be 15, so we were told, right? This girl, she had to be like in her 20s.
She was
barely legal. Oh yeah, she probably just turned 21 yesterday.
And she's with her friend and her boyfriend.
And she kept asking the dumbest questions.
She just asked questions to ask him. It's like it's that person in class that has to look smart or kiss ass.
Yeah.
So every time he would go through this process where he was going too far with it anyway. It's like, okay, we get how you do this part of it. We understand. And then he'd say, does anybody have any other questions? She'd be like, yeah. Well, what about that? What do you do when you do that part you said? And then what do you do with that after that? And he would explain that. And she'd go, oh, so when you do that, though, back there at that other step.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, would you shut up?
But then did you catch he would like say that? And she goes, oh, yeah. I get that. I see that. Yeah, like she understands.
Yeah, like she got it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, sure. And I'm like, you don't know what the heck you're talking about.
You don't know what fermentation and
she just drove me. She kept doing it over and over, and I wanted to slap her. Then, when we get to the wine tasting table, guess who gets put right beside Jeff and I? Chatty McCaffey.
Yes.
And she just is chatting about these wines and about this and about that. I seriously, I think the guy with her at one point said, did he tell her to shut up?
He told her to
quit talking?
That she can't freaking rate these if she doesn't shut up and drink them.
Yeah, because we were supposed to rate him. He goes, he was like, you can't rate him if you don't shut up or something.
He said something about her not being able. Yeah. How do you won't stop talking? The funny thing was she was talking like an expert about all these wines, reading off the papers like she knew. And you're sitting there like, does she really know that much about wine? Because they said they said she's 21, and then all of a sudden she's like, this is my first wine tasting, and my first time at a winery. And you're like,
gosh. We couldn't tell.
We sound like assholes. But
she was annoying, though. I mean, she really was. And at the end, and they're over there. I mean, Jeff and I have been on wine tastings. We don't really we might take a sip, decide if we like it, and then we just shoot it back.
Yeah, we're sitting there. We tried some because they gave us plenty of wine tastes, but then they gave us some sweet ones, and we both tasted them, and we're like, I'll look at her and I'll go, oh, this one's way too sweet. And she'll go, oh, mine too. And they have that bucket where you could pour it in. We both look at each other and just shoot it like it's a shot. It's like there is no way we're wasting this.
It doesn't matter how nasty the wine
There's
is.
alcohol in it.
I'm not throwing it in that bucket.
No, it's Saturday. It's 1:30.
I paid $5
We're
for
getting
this.
the day going. It's $5 a piece for, I think
So,
we had 8. They gave us 8 tastes.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 7, but they gave us a bonus of this nasty stuff that tastes like Kool-Aid. I mean, legit tastes like Kool-Aid. But anyway.
One was one was Welch's grape with added sugar.
I swear, it tasted like grape juice on steroids. It
tasted like grape juice, but add sugar to it.
But here's the funny thing. So Jeff and I are starting a new thing because of this wine tasting. I'm going to go a whole solid week. And I don't know if y'all know, because I don't really talk about it that much on here. I'm not a red wine girl. Like, I drink wine every single night. I have for years. For years and years, I've had wine every single night. And it's always Chardonnay or Pinot Grigio or something. But usually Chardonnay. Always white wine. Always with ice. And always in either a plastic cup or a styrofoam cup, okay?
Not tonight.
Not tonight, y'all. I am going to do a solid week of drinking red wine. Not a solid week straight. Let me take that back. I would be in some type of way. But in the evenings, 2 glasses of red wine a night or more is happening. No ice.
And the red wine is the wine that's good for you.
And the fancy wine glasses. I'm turning in my styrofoam cups for a week. And I'm going to exchange them for a fancy long stem wine glass. And I'm going to be sophisticated and have stinky breath.
It'll be fine.
For a whole week.
Everybody will that's drinking wine.
Here we are. So that's happening. So we did the winery. We went and had some lunch at this Mexican place with, again, a less than friendly bartender. The salsa was amazing.
The salsa and the freaking guac. Good Lord.
Oh, but then...
They had a great local beer and IPA that was outstanding.
I'm not sure what's happening, but like I feel like there was a theme on this trip, okay? We forgot to tell you... back to the comedy show about this table full of white drunk girls that was so annoying, and it was even annoying the comic. Okay, drunk white girls, annoying.
That was a table of big drunk white girls.
Annoying. So then there was the annoying girl at the winery. I feel like maybe we're assholes because we were sitting at lunch at this taco place and we're already ticked off that the bartender is not being friendly. Then this girl sits down and tells a story to her friend who she's with, that's a guy, and this other girl. No, she told the story to the guy first and the other girl was in the bathroom about how she went over to this boy's house and she made his bed for him. And he called her and he was like, oh my gosh, I don't usually make my bed, but you made my bed this way. And now I can never not make my bed this way. I loved how you made my bed. You did it so good. You folded down the sheets. And she was like, going to this whole thing and telling her friend that's a guy who I think also likes guys. And I thought he'd be excited about it, but he was like less than excited about it. He was like, oh, that's cool.
You know why?
You know, that's cool.
Because they were competing.
And he goes, you know, trying to go along with it. You could tell he wanted the conversation to be over because she just kept going on and on. Well, her friend that was in the bathroom came back. She was like, oh, I got to tell you this. I went over to Ryan's house and he never makes his bed. And I made his bed for it. And she went through the whole thing again. The whole thing. And she showed pictures and everything. He even sent me a picture. What? Yeah. You were face deep in your salsa and your avocado, your freaking guac and your tacos.
And beer.
And I'm over here sitting on the corner.
I was trying to block it out because I could tell by looking at him.
I'm like, well, I must be peeing messing because these white girls are getting on my nerves. And I am a white girl. I'm just saying. And then, so wait, where does that take us? That takes us to lunch. And then, yeah, I don't even remember.
Well, what got me is you went to the bathroom when we came into this Mexican spot. So I sit down on the corner of the bar, and it's me by myself. And this was outstanding. I wanted to applaud this lady. She comes in with her bags, and she tries to get into your seat. And I'm like, this seat's taken.
Of course she did.
You know what I mean? And so she scoots over one, and the bartender comes up, and he goes, yeah. And she goes, I need a to-go order. I need this, and then I need 3 shots of Patron with salt on the rim. And I'm like, her friends are coming. Right? I'm like, her friends are going to be here. And he gets the shots, and she's like, wham, 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 knocks all of them back like that.
Yes.
And then the manager comes around, hugs her. It's all on him. He pays for the drinks.
That's why she ordered 3 shots.
Yeah, I was like, damn, girl.
Yeah, she was
But
feeling
anyway,
good.
I just thought that was a pretty neat little
Yeah,
little
so
move.
we went to lunch, and then I don't even remember what we did. We went to the mall. I mean, we don't even go to the mall anymore. Why we went to the mall, I have no clue. To look
I was
going
going
to
to get a hat
that
I
he didn't end
found.
up getting,
but I
and then
didn't
we
get
found
it.
some chocolate and some coffee, blah, blah, blah. And then we went to dinner at the most amazing... Oh, wait. We got an Uber over to Brewburger.
Brewburger.
Okay,
Oh
so
my
in the
gosh.
Uber, she's such a sweet girl, a little bit older than us, and we don't have to go very far. Like, I mean, this sounds really diva-ish of us, but it was like less than a mile. But mind you, it was raining and nasty.
Like it was raining sideways.
It was, windy, so we couldn't really walk. We get in, she's like, "Where are you from?" Let's reenact this, okay? I'm gonna be the driver. Hey y'all, how are you? Where are you from?
We're from West Virginia.
I love Virginia. I'm a singer, and I just did a show. And what part of Virginia was I in? I think it was in like Richmond, Virginia. I love Virginia.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. Are
something
we
like
there
that.
yet? I mean, that's. I didn't even correct her.
We couldn't correct her because she was too nice.
She was super nice.
Yeah. She really liked Virginia, but I wanted to be like, I'm sorry, excuse me. Do you know West Virginia is an entirely separate state than Virginia?
Totally different state, lady.
Okay, anyway, she was really nice. We went and ate this amazing burger, and this guy sitting beside me had on a captain's hat. And I thought he was just cray-cray, right?
Me too.
I didn't understand.
Dang it! I forgot to ask somebody.
Okay, so we'll save that for later. Mind you, he had on a captain's hat, and he was pounding the food.
He was pounding
He was
the food.
huge. His hands were gigantic. He was a big guy.
He was a large man.
Not like even like obese looking though. Like I don't mean big. Like, he was just large.
He was just a big guy.
Yeah. So we ate this amazing burger, and finally, we had some friendly bartenders there. They were
Those guys
super
are
nice.
great. Yeah, I like those guys.
The food was good. The service was good. It was fast. It was oh my gosh, if I could eat one of those burgers right now.
The burger was unbelievable.
Right, and then we ended up back at the inn where we got to go upstairs.
Oh, the inn was freaking awesome.
Bartender
upstairs.
still less than friendly. Different bartender, same unfriendliness.
Well, the thing is you go up the stairs. There's 3 levels, so you go up the stairs and you get to the second level, and there's like this hallway that goes back to like what they called a apartment bar, which you go back and there's this kitchen with a bar set up,
It was really cool.
and you could get drinks, and then you could come back out, and there was like this room with tabletops, like if you went into the bar side of a restaurant,
Like
where they
high top
top tables.
Yeah.
But then they had a section where it was roped off for VIP stuff.
We were not VIP.
We were not
clearly.
VIP yet. We
Yes.
could have been if we had one more night there. And then you go to the 3rd floor, and there were pool tables. People in the back were playing in the bedroom up in the back. There's pool tables set up. People playing pool back there. Then you go to the front, and there's like this living room with old
Couches,
school
it's-
couches and end tables and
Like very Victorian style.
Victorian style. But there are people just hanging out and they're drinking.
It was so neat.
It was a different setup.
I loved that bar, and I would like to go back where we could hang out more, but we really felt like the best place for us was down on the 1st floor where there was a man playing the piano and singing, and he was really good, and he took requests. He sang Jason Mraz, and he sang John Legend for me. Then here we go. Here comes some college assholes.
Yeah, this was great. It
Here
got
comes some
lit.
frat boys, and they're like, he's like, can you play Wagon Wheel? And I'm like, screw me. Screw my life. I hate that song. If you're on social media, you already know because I did a good, listen, my eye roll game was on point during that song.
It was
and
strong.
me and the singer were friendly with each other. I think he liked me and I liked him. We had a thing going. Like, he's old, mind you. So it gets so fired up in there because apparently everybody except for me likes the song Wagon Wheel. And he got up off from the piano and he started bringing the microphone around so people could sing with him. And he approached me and I gave him the look of death and I shook my head. He knew not to even get me to try to sing. I'm not singing that song. I hate that song. It takes part of my soul every time it comes on. That's how much I hate that song. But anyway, it was good music. Other than that, we had a good time there. We will definitely go back. Then where we end our night and virtually kind of end our trip, I suppose, the party part of our trip is at
The
the
Wild Beaver.
Wild Beaver, which wears my tank top. I must wear it tomorrow to the gym.
You did bring it home.
Yeah, I think it's in the suitcase. I put it in my tiny purse, so I think it's in the suitcase.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's in the front part of the
Wild
suitcase.
Beaver, who my friend Brad from Cincinnati recommended that we go because they have great karaoke. Well, we get there at 8:30. Karaoke doesn't start till 10. We don't think we can hang. Well, we ended up hanging. Karaoke was great. There's some characters in there, and there was, of course, another table of drunk white girls,
Which was entertaining.
which was annoying.
Once you got enough drinks in you, it was very entertaining.
It was annoying. Why do you keep looking out the window?
Because cars keep going by like we live on a busy road.
We have kids that have friends over. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Anyway.
Another table of annoying white girls. And I told Jeff, listen, drunk white girls. Here he goes, looking out the window again. I'm sure I've been one of those girls.
Probably.
But not very often, because I don't have girls' nights. I don't go out a lot like that. But if you ever see me acting like that, take me home.
Gladly.
If I'm out with anybody listening, and I start acting like a basic drunk white girl, tell me it's time to go home. They're embarrassing. Embarrassing.
Yes.
They kicked off the karaoke, and it was not a great kickoff.
It was terrible.
They sang Poison or something. I don't.
They
know.
tried to sing Poison.
Anyway, and then there was this older man who was, oh gosh, it was just a mess.
It was great. It was amazing is what it was.
Picture karaoke, drunk people doing karaoke, and that's exactly what it was. And it was amazingly fun.
It was a blast.
It was really a good time. I'll definitely go back there. Jeff and I are going to get our songs ready. We didn't sing, but we have our songs in
We're
mind.
going to get some routines down. No, we
tell
won't
them.
reveal it. You'll have to come to karaoke at
right.
our house. We're going to get karaoke machines and do quarterly karaoke.
Yes. And then basically we went back to our room and came home today. It was a good time. I can't wait to go back again when it's warm, like you said, and be able to enjoy it more. Because I would really like to have bar hopped more. You know, like how to drink here, hang, and then go. You know what I'm saying? To like see more of like the bars. I would like to walk around more during the day,
Right.
instead of having to like kind of stay in. But you know, it was nice. I loved it.
It was a blast. Yeah.
It was definitely.
I'm glad we got away.
I really can't think of a city though that we visited lately that I'm like, Can you? We've been to Lexington, Louisville, San Francisco, Asheville. Not recent. I mean, I'm talking in the last 5 years. I'm not saying we've been here recently. You know, of course, Cincinnati, Columbus. I can't think of any city where I'm just like, that wouldn't be the first place I would go. Can you?
No, not really.
We've been to New York. I mean, I've been really, maybe I just like going out of town. Maybe we're not hard to please.
Well, look where we live.
I know
Look
where.
where we live.
I know where. Huntington.
Huntington, yes.
I would definitely.
There you go.
We only go there to see Maddie.
I mean, we live in a place where there's not much going on, so it's pretty exciting to go out of town and experience new things.
Can I just say something before we go? Because I've been getting these comments on my TikTok videos. And do you know the video? I'm just going to tell you this out loud. I want you to read this. The video where Jeff and I did the footwork, where it was like we were hitting feet. I don't know if you saw it. You need to go to my TikTok. It's been a while since we did it. Can you please read what this guy said? Just, this guy said this about 19 minutes ago about me.
Is this Martha Stewart's daughter?
With that,
Good
screw
night.
you, TikTok, and you stupid trolls. Is this Martha Stewart's daughter?
You are crafty.
Do I look like Martha Stewart's
Listen,
daughter?
Martha Stewart hangs out with freaking Snoop Dogg. She's really good at craft. She's been to jail.
Do I look like
She's
Martha?
a thug.
I've been called a lot of things on TikTok, and I've had a lot of mean comments on TikTok. That's funny. I'm done. Whatever.
Good night, everyone.